Looking for a Class C RV under 25 feet with no slide outs, but not sure which layouts are best? Stick around. We review two awesome floor plans that solve this issue very differently. Hey everybody, Mike from RVBlogger here in front of the camera. Susan's behind it, and we are RVBlogger. And for the past 7 years, we've been helping people find the right RV so they can go from their couch to the campground. In this video, we're going to check out two awesome RVs so you can see what matters most to you when comparing floor plans. And if this video helps you at all, a quick thumbs up will help other RVers find our video too. So let's get started with our reviews. This Class C RV is the Entegra Odyssey SE 22EF. The MSRP is $133,253. The gross vehicle weight rating is 12,500 pounds. The cargo carry capacity is 2,678 pounds, and it has a gross combined weight rating of 18,500 pounds. The length is 24 feet 9 inches long. It has a tow capacity of 5,000 pounds, and it can sleep up to 6 people. The gray tank holds 40 gallons. Black tank holds 32 gallons, and the freshwater tank holds 43 gallons. When you first walk into this Class C RV, on the right-hand side is where the driver's cab and the overcab are located. Then we wrap on around through the dinette and kitchen area, and behind me here are the bedroom and bathroom. Now, our first impression when we walk into this Class C RV is that this is a great coach if you want to keep it simple, right? It doesn't have slides and all that stuff. It's under 25 feet, so it's easy to drive. You could park it on almost any campsite across the country. It'll fit even in national parks. So it's just a fantastic Class C RV. Now, this one sits on a Ford F-350 chassis, and that's a great chassis for an RV. If you ever have a breakdown or you need parts, Ford parts and Ford mechanics are located all over the place, so it's easy to get a repair done, as opposed to, say, a Mercedes chassis. Might have a little more problem, and you'll definitely spend a lot more money. Anyway, the driver's cab is located up front here. As I mentioned, it's on the Ford chassis, but one nice thing they did in this RV is they scalloped out behind the dinette. And when they do this, this allows you to take this driver's seat and back it up as far as possible so you can have as much leg room while you're driving. So that's a really great feature. We have a Class C RV, and my seat hits the dinette, and I wish it could go back further, but it can't. Up top here, we have the overcab area, and let's see how big this is. I know it's going to be 8 feet wide. I can tell you that right now, but let's just confirm. Dag on it, right again. And let's see what the width on this is. About 54 inches, and so you could easily sleep 2 adults up here very, very comfortably. The other great thing is all the headroom up here in the overcab. Overcabs used to be much tighter, and they'd be up higher. And so you'd only have maybe 18 inches overhead to be able to sleep up here. It was pretty tight. But now, man, I mean, at this area, we're looking at 34 inches of headroom, and then it shrinks as you get towards the front. But even up at that seam, you're still at 29 inches of headroom. So pretty decent amount. You won't feel claustrophobic sleeping up there, that's for sure. There's also a TV here, so you can pull that out on a swivel arm or leave it in position. So when you're laying in bed at night, you could watch TV, or you can swivel it out and watch TV from your dinette. Speaking of dinette, here we are at the dinette. Now, they've already got this dinette into the bed position. And so it's just a standard 4-seater, you know, a bench on each side and the table in the middle. And as this bed sits now, you're looking at about 62 inches by about 37 inches of sleeping space. So a couple of kiddos, maybe a smaller sized adult would be able to sleep here. And that's about it. But you also have this really nice big window over top of the dinette. I love it. It just lets so much air and light in here. It's really great. Actually, it doesn't let a lot of air. You just have this little section for air, but it does let a ton of light in. And the view is pretty cool. We're at a big old RV show up here in Hershey, Pennsylvania. So that's what it looks like before the show opens up. And then above the dinette, also you've got a couple of puck lights located underneath of the storage cabinets. And then these storage cabinets open, and they are just huge inside. Lots of room for all your storage needs in there. Couple other notes about the dinette. There is additional storage underneath each of the booth seats that are in here, and there's also a receptacle underneath of one of the booths. So if you need to plug in your computer or anything while you're sitting at the dinette, you can easily do so. Now, right across from the dinette is where the kitchen is located, but over top of the door here, they also have a cabinet. This is very, very typical in Class C RVs to have a cabinet over the door. Now, this one's kind of small. You know, they have all this extra space. They could have brought it down a little bit, but I guess they're worried about people smacking their head on the bottom of it. But still, you know, you got some storage space up there. We use ours to keep like bug sprays, lighters, bear spray, all that kind of stuff that you might need to grab, rain ponchos, anything you need to grab on your way in and out of the RV is a perfect spot for all that stuff. Your kitchen here is an inline kitchen setup. It just means everything's in a line that is pertaining to your kitchen. And up top here, we've got this really nice big cabinet with a fixed shelf in the middle. And then you have this nice microwave that is also a convection microwave oven. So you can microwave or bake things in here, which is great. We have one in our Class A RV and I absolutely love it. We bake things all the time, except in the summer. Don't make that mistake. We've baked pizza in our RV when it was 95 degrees outside, and man, it did not help keep us cool. Over top here, you've got a small space for, I don't know, cookie sheets or whatever else you might want to throw up there. And then you've got a real range hood here. It actually vents outside of this Class C RV, so that is a plus. Then we have our 2 propane burners in here, and you guys always hear me say this on all of our reviews. I wish they would put the burners from front to back instead of side to side, because you get extra countertop space if they make them that way. So, but this is not a bad setup at all. You do have some space here for a coffee pot and maybe a toaster if you need it. And then you've got a couple of lights up here over top of the kitchen sink, which is a nice big round sink. It's a pretty deep bowl as well, so it'd be very easy for you to wash your dishes here. There's also a receptacle over here on the side of the cabinet, so if you did need to plug in your coffee pot, you just run the wire behind the sink and over the edge and plug it in right there. Down below here, we've got lots of storage underneath of the sink. We've got 3 drawers here for all of your kitchen utensil storage, and then there's even another drawer here underneath of the burner for your pots and pans storage. Just beyond the cooktop here is where the refrigerator's located. Freezer's up top. That's really high up because I think they have the furnace down underneath here. So the fridge is really high up. If you don't have kids, this is great because adults can get in here. Your kids will not be able to get in here if they want a popsicle. So, you know, whatever. But it's plenty of room. And then in the refrigerator, this is a really good size fridge for this size RV. So thumbs up on that for sure. Now, right across from the refrigerator, we also have this area here. Now, this area kind of goes with the bedroom a little bit. It's your clothes storage and things like that. You've got a nice mirrored door here. And then inside, you've got a bar up top so you can hang all your garments. And even if with things hanging in here, there's still plenty of room to store things down below. And then you've got a bank of 3 drawers here for even more storage. So here I am on the bed back here. And this is pretty typical bed for a small Class C RV. It's kind of jammed in the corner here. And the word on the street is that it's really, really hard to make the bed in this kind of RV. And you know, that's kind of true. In fact, in our Class C RV, Susan makes me make the bed because you have to climb up on here, pull that corner up to get your mattress over your sheet over the corner, and then put it back down, and then do the other corner, and then sort of work your way back out. So it's a little difficult, but it's not that hard. Anyway, once you're back here, you've got a lot of cabinetry up around in an L shape, so plenty of room for all your clothes storage and all that stuff. They've got a couple of lights underneath of these 2 cabinets over here, which is very peculiar to me because I would think you would want them sort of here, right? If I'm laying in bed and Susan's next to me and we want to read, the lights are over there, but I'm over here. So I don't know what they're thinking of on that one, but you know, I've seen stranger. Also underneath of these cabinets, there's a electrical outlet over here, and then there's USB ports here and here. So if you need to plug in anything and charge it overnight, while you're sleeping, or you need it charging while you're reading your Kindle or whatever, you've got those outlets there to be able to charge everything up. TV location is right here next to where the refrigerator is, and you can mount a TV right here. There's a receptacle and a cable outlet. Perfect spot to be able to lay in bed and drift off to sleep in the evening. Now, the mattress that's in here is very, very unusual in a couple of ways. Number one, it has a corner cut to it. And so in a lot of Class C's that are this kind, that has this rounded corner, or sometimes it even has just a cut off corner. This is called a corner cut mattress. If you're looking for a great corner cut mattress, I recommend Tocta. We have one in our Class C RV, and Tocta mattresses are awesome. So I'll put a link in the notes down below if you want to check them out and get yourself a really great mattress. Now this mattress though has one other little trick to it, and that is that the mattress itself folds up and over so that you have access to the storage that's located under the bed. And I'll be honest, I don't know where to get a replacement mattress for this kind of mattress that has a split in the middle and also a corner cut. So if you know where to get mattresses like that, please let me know in the YouTube comments down below. I would love to hear from you guys on that. And I'm sure people are going to be asking in the video once they see it, hey, how would I replace that? Where could I get one? So if you know, please let us know in the comments below. I almost forgot, we have to get a measurement of the bed. So let's see what we have here. Okay, we've got about 74 inches long, and then on the width, we're looking at 60 inches wide. So this would be considered a short or an RV size, queen size bed. Now here we are in the bathroom, which is right next to the bed we just took a look at. And it's a decent sized bathroom in here. I'm standing in the shower like I always do. And let's get some measurements while we're in here. Now the shower, from the shower floor to the ceiling, is 6 feet 4 inches. The regular headroom throughout the entire RV is 7 feet. So for you taller folks, not a bad setup in here. The shower itself comes with a nice plastic surround, and then you've got 4 corners or 4 shelves in the corners here for your soap and shampoo. Of course, you have the detachable shower wand. And then instead of putting in a retractable shower door, they've chosen to just put in a rod for a curtain. Now, if you do put in a shower curtain, what I would recommend you do is get the kind of shower curtain that actually bows out and away from the shower, so it gives you a little bit more room while you're in here without that shower curtain sticking to you while you're taking a shower. So you can do that, or just buy a retractable shower door and install it yourself. They're really easy to do. I'll leave a link in the show notes below and show you where to get the best deal on retractable shower doors for RVs. Now, let's get the length and width in here too. Our buddy Aaron, who watches almost all of our videos, always wants me to get these measurements. So Aaron, here it is, man. 22 inches deep, and we are at about 32 inches. So, you know, an average size shower, but this is a small Class C RV, so I think it's actually pretty decent. Personally, I would stand sideways, not this way, in here to take a shower, because if I stand this way, my arm is going to be all up against the shower curtain. If I stand this way, I probably have a little more room to move around. Now here I am outside of the shower, and Susan is standing in the shower, but I'm on the other side of the bathroom, and as you can see, it's pretty good size. The sink has a medicine cabinet above, and this is a great size medicine cabinet, nice big mirror, lots of room inside for all your personal items. And then the sink and countertop area is very nice. You have a lot of countertop space here, and then you've got a receptacle here too, so if you have a curling iron or blow dryer, you've got all of that available. And then there is some storage under the kitchen, or under the bathroom sink, and there's also some open storage under the countertop here as well. Now here I am sitting on the commode in here, and I realized I missed one thing, and they do have a towel hook up here on the wall, but it really would just kind of hold one towel. So Susan found a really great towel rack that we use inside of our Class A RV. I'll put a link to that in the show notes down below, but it can hold 4 towels. You can spread them all out. They can also fold up against the wall, or you can spread them out so they can dry out better. It's terrific. I'll stick a link in the notes down below if you're interested in checking it out. But while I'm sitting on the commode here, Will I pass the elbow test? The answer is yes. Now here we are outside of this Class C RV, and there is a really nice shower port on the driver's side of this rig. Very nice size. You can pull that shower wand off, take a shower outside, or rinse off the kiddos, rinse off your bike, your dogs, your pets, your feet, whatever you need to do, and you're not going to get the camp side of your RV wet while you're doing it. So I like the shower on the other side. And then you've got a couple of storage compartments back here. The bottom compartment's a bit of a smaller compartment, and then up top here you've got this larger compartment, and we saw it from inside because when we lift up the mattress to get to the storage area, it's to this same exact storage area here. So it's always nice to have a couple of different access points to get to all of your stowed items. Hey, you caught me in what our good friend Matt would call prime pooping position, but there's more to an RV bathroom than just having enough elbow space. It also needs to smell good in here, and you need to keep your tanks in good working order. That's why we're here today to talk to you about Matt's Liquified tank treatment. We've been using it for a couple of years now. We love it. We think it works just great. It's available in liquid form. You can buy a bag of pods, or you can also get the powder form, and it comes in either an orange or lavender scent. Like I said, we've been using it a couple years. We've had our tanks professionally cleaned by Clean Tank. We got an A on both of our black tanks in our rig, and I'm sure it'll help keep your tanks nice and clean as well. And in addition to the tank treatment, Matt also has toilet bowl cleaner and tank and sensor cleaner, which I would recommend you use about every 3 to 6 months to keep your tank smelling nice and clean and fresh as well. So grab your phone and point it at the QR code on the screen right now, or I've got the link in the notes down below, so you can head on over to Matt's Liquified and get all stocked up for your next camping adventures. Now let's get on to our next RV review. This Class C RV is the Forest River Forester model number 2031RP. It has an MSRP starting at $156,606. The gross vehicle weight rating is 9,350 pounds. It has a cargo carry capacity of 1,500 pounds, and the gross combined weight rating is 12,000 pounds. The length is 23 feet, 4 inches long. It has a tow capacity of 4,000 pounds, and it can sleep up to 2 people. The gray tank holds 28 gallons, the black tank holds 17 gallons, and the freshwater tank holds 35 gallons. When you first walk into this Class C RV, on the right-hand side is the driver's cab. Then we wrap on around through the living area, kitchen area, bathroom is on your right, and then your bedroom, your dining room, and your storage area are all behind me. So our first impression of this Class C RV is that it's pretty cool when you walk in here, but some of the best features are behind where Susan is standing right now. But there's also some other really cool features up here towards the front of the RV, so let's just check it out. Now, first thing you'll note, this is a Dodge ProMaster chassis that this Class C RV sits on. Well, Class C RVs used to be identified as it sits on a pickup truck chassis, and it has the quintessential over cab where you can sleep over top of the driver's cab. But over the years, and especially through COVID, those definitions have been blurred. There used to be such a thing as a Class B plus RV, and that was basically a Class C that was on a van chassis, and it didn't have the sleeping area here. Now they call them all Class Cs. It's really hard to know which is which. This particular one, to me, seems more like a B plus. It sits on a van chassis, and it doesn't have the sleeping capacity up here, but the manufacturer calls it a Class C. So all the lines are blurred. We're just going to go with Class C, and there you go. So up top here, no sleeping, but it does have 3 little compartment trays with some cargo netting to hold your things in place, so you can stow away some items up here. As I mentioned, it sits on a Dodge ProMaster chassis, so good chassis. It's got a nice big screen up front for your GPS and all that, and you can see that the chairs do swivel around and face back into the rig, so that's a nice feature to have as well. So here we are at the living room area, and starting from the top, we've got a couple of really nice big cabinets up here. They have the nice hardware in these cabinets, so the doors stay open when you open them instead of falling back down on you. So you can use both hands to get things out of this cabinet, which is great. And then when you close them, you know, they don't really slam shut. They've kind of got that soft close thing going on. And And then each of these knobs locks also. You just push it in, so when you're in travel mode, now this cabinet door is locked and it won't pop open on you. Below that, we've got a nice strip light here to keep you well lit up while you're sitting here, and then a window behind. You can lower your screen for some shade or pull up your privacy screen in the evenings. And then this sofa or couch, you know, it's pretty comfortable. It does have some footrests that pop out, but they really don't work very well. You have to really force them to come all the way. I'm not even going to try, but you have to force them to come out and pop into position. And the seats don't recline, so you're just sitting here like this, which is okay. It's not super comfortable, but it's okay. So as far as this goes, I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about it. There's no cup holders here or anything for you to be able to use either. So I guess it's just a small space and they had to make something work here that they could. So anyway, underneath of your sofa also, this is where your dinette table stows, and we'll show you where that goes a little bit later on in the video. Just to my right here is an electrical outlet. So if you are sitting here and you need to charge your phone or charge your computer while you're working, you can plug it in right here. Let's take a look at the TV location next, which I guarantee you've probably never seen before. Now here we are right across from the sofa where Susan was just standing, and you can see the TV here is mounted up against the ceiling. So you just hold the TV and pull this and the TV will swing right on down for you. Now, my feeling is this is really close and too high to be able to really enjoy from sitting on the sofa. So I think the sofa should actually be taller to make that a little bit easier. Plus, you'll be able to recline in it better. It's just not a good system the way they have it set up. Now, you can take this TV and swivel it, and now you might be able to see it from the bed in the back of this RV. But once we go back to there, you'll see if that's really going to work or not. We'll show you that a little bit later on in the review, and then you just pull it, pop it right back up, and it pops into place for travel mode. Now, usually in Class C's, there is a cabinet over top of the entry door, but since we have the TV here, there's no way to do that. So they put these little cubbies in just on the side of the door so you can stow away some of your items that we put stuff here that we use inside and outside all the time. So bug spray, suntan lotion, sunglasses, umbrellas, anything like that would be a great fit for right there. Now, your kitchen here is what's called an inline kitchen. That's because all of your kitchen appliances are in a line. It's a very efficient way to set up a kitchen inside of a small space like an RV. Up top here, you've got some really nice big cabinet space. Again, they have the good hardware on here, so the doors stay up when you open them, which is fantastic. We have an LED light strip under here to keep things well lit. They did put in an induction cooktop here, and it's okay in the position that it is. I mean, they tried to center it up so it's centered up over top of the microwave so it looks nice, but functionality-wise, I would rather see it off-center so that we get a little bit more countertop space between the burner and the sink. There's really nowhere in here to put a coffee maker or a toaster unless you put it on top of your induction burner or on top of your sink, and then you lose the access to those. So something you have to weigh, you know, when you're looking at a smaller camper. There's a lot of trade-offs that you have to deal with. There is an electrical outlet in this back corner, and there's also a tower of power over here. And since there's really not a lot of countertop space, they do have an extend-a-top, so you could use this for your coffee or margarita machine or whatever you'd like to use it for. The sink that's in here is a really good size sink. It's probably a little bigger than it has to be, but it's nice and deep, and it'll be super easy for you to wash the dishes in here. This also comes with an integral sprayer on the gooseneck faucet, so that's a really good setup as well. Down below, we have this little open storage area. You might want to put some sponges or cleaning supplies here, or maybe you put all your spices here. And then underneath of that, we have a ton of storage space underneath of the kitchen sink. Underneath of the burner here, we actually have a convection microwave oven, and then below that, we have a nice big storage drawer for pots and pans. Now, just beyond your cooktop, we have a pantry cabinet here. This has adjustable shelves in it, both top and bottom, so you can make the shelf heights match whatever food you're carrying on board, and that makes life a lot more convenient. And then just beyond that, we have our refrigerator. Now, this refrigerator is an okay sized. The freezer is okay sized also. I would say if you got a bag of ice inside of this freezer, you're not really going to get anything else in there. That's about the size of it. And but it's really, this kind of camper is really for weekend adventures and things like that. I don't see you taking this camper for, you know, a 2-week vacation or a month-long road trip. But you could do it. You just would have to refill your refrigerator more often, that's all. And we go to the grocery store all the time when we're out camping, so whatever, it all works out. Up top here, you've got all your controls over top of the refrigerator, so they're centrally located, so that's a really convenient feature as well. Now, behind me here is really, really cool. And this area serves as 3 different parts of this Class C RV. First of all, this area of the camper serves as the dinette. You've got bench seating on either side, and then there's a table that stows away under the sofa in the living area. Now, the table that's under there is only 32 inches, so it's about this wide, and then it's about, you know, 22 inches deep. So if you had a table in here, you could have 2 people on that side and 2 people on this side, so 4 people could use the table pretty easily. If you wanted to get a longer table or make a longer table, you could. You can just unscrew the hardware from the table that comes with it and screw it into your new tabletop and get a longer table back here if you needed to do that. So anything you can do to personalize and make your rig your own is a great thing because it makes it convenient for you. Now, there's also a couple of cubbies under each of the benches that provide some open storage for your clothes. And then that's about it as far as using this dinette area. Now, the next big function of this area is storage. And you'll notice this big door in the back. This door is about 34 inches wide. I'll measure the opening anyway. And about 47 inches tall. So you could probably get a couple of bicycles or maybe electric bikes up and in here to stow them away. You can put tons of other gear back here and stow that away while you're in travel mode. I can't open the door right now because we're at an RV show, and the next RV is like right up against the back of this one, so I can't open the door to show that to you. But that's how that would work. And what they do is they have the bed up and overhead, and this is on a belt system so that it goes up and down, and in just a minute I'll show you how that works. But when you're in travel mode, you put your bed up, and then this becomes a huge storage area. Now, they have these D-ring tracks on the floor in here. So if you do have electric bikes or whatever, you can tie them down so that they don't fall down while you're driving down the road. And the amount of space that we have back here for bikes or toys or whatever you have, I'll call it 64 inches. And then on the width, you know, we're probably looking, I'll call it about 42 inches wide. So that just gives you a rough idea so that you know if your stuff will fit back here if you're interested in this particular RV. Let's take a look at how the bed works next. Now, I just mentioned that the control panel's here over top of the refrigerator, and this is what you would use to raise and lower the bed. And it's just on a belt system. It's a very simple system. It's quiet, really nice, but it goes up and down. So when you're out of travel mode and you get where you're going, you lower your bed down, and now you have your bedroom set up in here. Now, if you're using the cubbies underneath the bed, well, you're probably going to have to raise the bed to get to the cubbies, you know, all that fun stuff. But there are a couple of cabinets here outside of the bedroom. One of them is a wardrobe cabinet where you can hang some things in there, and then you've got another cabinet down below for additional storage outside of the bed area as well. So that's kind of a nice feature. Let's get a measurement on the bed back here. We are looking at 80 inches by, wow, 60 inches. So we have a residential queen size bed back here. So that's fantastic. I mean, for you taller folks or folks that just want a regular size bed like at home, that's what fits back here. So that is tremendous. And then to put your,
you raise it,
yes,
how high are you going to need a step stool?
Good idea.
Into bed?
Good question. Coming from Susan, who's 5'1"
And always needs a stool.
and always needs a stool to get in and out of bed, or I have to pick her up and throw her there, but we haven't done that in a while. This is 40 inches tall, honey. You think you could do it? You have to get a running start and jump up here. So You know, some of you folks might need a stool to get up and into here. That's a really good point. I mean, I can do it, but it wouldn't be easy. So something to keep in mind. So let's put the bed in the up position. Again, it's just to push a button and it goes up. It's nice and quiet and, you know, really easy. I just want to show you how it works. There we go. Couple other things to note back here in the storage, dinette, and sleeping area. There is a window on each side, and so you can open those windows. They have screens in them, and that way you can get a nice cross breeze back here. There's also a vent up on the ceiling that has a fan in it, so you can turn that on and create even more airflow back here that way. Now here I am in the bathroom, and this Class C RV has the bathroom in the middle of the RV. It's nice to have a mid-bath because usually the bathroom's a little bigger, but the downside of a mid-bath is it sort of creates a pinch point in the middle of the RV, and it makes the front of the RV seem small or the back of the RV seem small instead of giving you that wide open feel all the way through. For some folks, that's great. They like more privacy in the bedroom, or they want more privacy up front. Maybe one partner likes to stay up late and watch TV and the other likes to go to bed. So, you know, it just depends how your lifestyle is and if this particular RV would work well for you. So just some things to consider when you're out looking around. Now the shower that's in here is a good size shower. You guys know, if you've seen our videos, I'm 5'11", I weigh about $190, so I fit in here. If you're my size, you will too. I fit better facing this way, so if I was going to take a shower, I would use my wand facing this way because this shower is only about 22 inches deep, and then the width on it is 32 inches wide, and then the height in here from the shower base up into the skylight, that's about 6 feet 2 inches. The ceiling height throughout the entire RV is 6 feet 5 inches, and then of course your bed in the back is an 80-inch bed. So for you taller folks, this might be an okay RV. Some of you really taller guys might have to crouch down a little bit in the shower. Now the surround in here is a very nice plastic surround. It'll keep the water in the shower. It also gives you 4 spots to hold shampoo, conditioners, and soaps in the corners. And then they went and installed a retractable shower door, which is fantastic. I love this, way better than a shower curtain. Outside of the shower, we have a oval mirror on the wall, and instead of doing a medicine cabinet, they just made a few little pockets in the wall with some cargo mesh to hold things in place. So you would put all your personal items there instead of in a medicine cabinet. And then down below that, they even put the faucet in this little cubby thing to create extra room so they could use a real tight corner mounted sink just to conserve space, but at least you do have a place to wash your hands. Outside of the shower, sitting on the commode, I'm kind of going to pass the elbow test. Not so much on my left, but it's close, and I've got plenty of room on my right. Now here we are outside of this Class C RV, and as you might expect, there's not a lot of storage on the outside because it's really focused on the inside. But there are a couple of small storage compartments here that are on the camp side of the RV. So that way when you unload your gear, it's very handy and accessible for your campsite. Also, there's an electrical outlet here. So if you wanted to set up, you know, some folks put a table outside and they might cook breakfast out here and stuff like that. So you've got some electricity for that. But all of your storage is really going to take place through the back door underneath of the bed back there. That's where the majority of your storage is in this Class C RV. One last point to make is there's also a shower port on the other side of this RV. So if you need to rinse yourself off or your bikes or whatever from a long day of mountain biking, you can do that on the opposite side of your RV and not get your campsite wet. If you've made it this far, thanks for spending your time with us. We really, really appreciate it. And if you want more help finding the perfect RV, just head on over to RVblogger.com. We have tons of free resources that'll help you become a more confident and educated RVer. And if you're shopping for an RV either now or in the future, we hope you'll consider subscribing to the channel so we can save you a lot of time and effort comparing RVs. If you want to check out even more of our reviews, just click one of the boxes down below. And Susan and I will see you in the next video.